Hello and welcome to yet another event in the games. My name is NintendoFanGirl, or you can call me Sam. I'm a YouTuber. I exist all over the internet and I love to talk about anything and everything Nintendo. So I'm very excited to bring this game to you today. And along with me today is my co-host, Alex.
Hello, my name is Alex Rosenberg. I go by Luca_Starks on the internet. And today, our runners are going to be going into a test of skill, strength, dexterity, and accuracy racing across the 𝗚𝗚𝗍 region of Breath of the Wild. It's the Biathlon.
A Biathlon! I can't wait. And it is the fourth event of the second games. So exciting. So each runner will start from the 𝗚𝗚𝗍 Shrine. Hopefully I'm pronouncing correctly. From there, runners will race southwest across 𝗚𝗚𝗍 Stone Grove, climbing the sheer cliff face and ascending the 𝗚𝗚𝗍 East Summit until they reach 𝗚𝗚𝗍 Peak, the first checkpoint.
Once they set foot on the peak next to the Korok awaiting there, they have a couple options. If they feel comfortable with shield surfing, they can take that northern path, moving west through the Cold Snap Hollow and then down around the west side of the 𝗚𝗚𝗍 South Summit.
Or if they'd rather take the shorter path on foot, they can head southwest along Talanto Peak, moving along the east side of the 𝗚𝗚𝗍 South Summit towards Fospro Pass.
They can also opt to try blazing their own trail right down the middle to our second checkpoint, the Rito Flight Range, where they now have to land on a wooden platform.
Which isn't easy to begin with, but then runners have to shoot all 15 targets in the flight range from the air. They do not have to clear them all in one attempt. They can come and go from the landing platform as they please, but time's called when they land on the platform one last time.
A couple rules before we begin. The runners may not use the sailcloth for any horizontal travel until reaching the flight range. They can use it to prevent fall damage, but cannot use it for any other purposes. Rivali's Gale is also completely prohibited during this event.
Wonder why. They also may not change clothes, and they also shouldn't because, as you'll see, they're not going to survive if they change out of their warm weather attire in the 𝗚𝗚𝗍 region, and they may not consume food. One fairy has been provided, as well as Mipha's Grace and Daruk's Protection.
All
right, and let's talk about this event's participants. We have Rick of Imperium Ludum in the top left.
We also have John of Youbetchastan.
That's a good name. Lindsay of Daisy Baby Bitch Territory.
And Peter of Tierra de los Hermanos Hook.
Oh, you said that really well. All right.
I'm surprised.
Well, let's go. Off to the games.
All right, as we get started, we have Rick in the top
go.
left. All right, as we get started, we have Rick in the top left, John in the top right, Lindsay in the bottom left, and Peter in the bottom right. Now, this is the second time that John and Lindsay have competed in race events within Breath of the Wild, but the last time that happened, Lindsay actually placed fourth of a really bad game over in the last games, so this hopefully will be the opportunity for her to make up a comeback
a little bit of redemption
in these games.
I'm looking here, and it seems Peter's the only one, I think, so far that's thrown out his shield for a little shield surfing.
Yeah, shield surfing is going to be a little bit tricky to see whether or not that momentum is going to help you over here. This area is a little bit tough. There is a bunch of enemies over here, and not only that, trying to get up to 𝗚𝗚𝗍 Peak is going to require a lot of climbing. And they do not seem to have a bunch of stamina. They all have their 3 bars of stamina, but it is a long way up to the top.
Mm-hmm. And we know there's no food consumption, so...
That is correct, no.
No making it through there. Yeah, so right now it really is a game of stamina. How long people feel comfortable sprinting. I do think maybe people are being super conservative with the stamina usage, with the exception perhaps of Peter, who seems to be... he's run out his stamina bar at least once that I've seen.
But it's mostly in terms of speed. We've got John going up. It looks like he's currently in the lead, although Rick is seeing the surface of there as well, so it's currently anyone's game. Peter, definitely the last point on the wall.
Backslid a little bit there.
So some sliding for Peter as well.
I'm seeing Rick pausing in the few spots that he can, John too, to refill that stamina to get up to the top. It's working.
It looks like Rick's going to get to the first major part of outside of the area where the shrine is. They are on their way to their first checkpoint, which is the very top of 𝗚𝗚𝗍 Peak. You'll know what the top is because of the Korok that happens to be sitting right there.
Rick's definitely pulling ahead now. You can see he's on this snowfield right now. whereas all other 3 competitors are still in the climbing phase.
Except for Lindsay. Lindsay now heading into
yes.
second position. Looks like Peter is trying to get up to their top first. It's going to be really interesting to see whether or not John or Peter get to the top first.
Looks like it's Peter. Oh.
We have Peter getting up onto the flat stuff. John close behind. Rick taking the nice lead.
Yeah.
Very comfortable lead on the way up to 𝗜𝗚𝗚.
I'd love to see how close people get comfortable, our competitors get comfortable with filling out that stamina bar. I've
Seems
noticed
like we're doing pretty good on that.
Yeah, John seems to be going pretty much all the way, using up that stamina bar before he lets go. He's done a good job of not running it out completely.
But Rick's tactics are working in his favor. Rick is the first
There's
one
the
on to our
clock.
checkpoint. Looks like Lindsay's going to be coming up right behind, followed by John, followed by Peter. Actually, John and Peter are going to be really difficult to figure out which one goes first. At this point, there are 3 options for our players. Our next location of checkpoints are at the Rito flight range outside of Rito Village in 𝗚𝗚𝗡. There are 3 options here. You can either go surf all the way through the west and go south. You can try to go to a footpath in the south, or you can just go through the middle. And it looks like Rick is going to be going for some shield surfing. We have Lindsay doing some shield surfing as well. Peter's doing the same, and John still hasn't gotten up to the peak.
Almost there, though.
We have Lindsay using up her first 𝗚𝗚𝗚's protection. Peter trying to get around that whiz robe.
Rick's moving real quick with that shield right now.
Yeah, so Rick is really sliding around through Cold Stop Hollows and work away around the west side of 𝗜𝗚𝗚 South Summit. We have Lindsay used up all of her 𝗚𝗚𝗚's protection, so any other defense she has is going to go directly to her health.
Yep.
Lindsay taking a nice dive down. Very quick save with the sailcloth. Now remember, the sailcloth can't be used for any horizontal travel, but it can be used to negate fall damage.
Which she
Very
used
nice
perfectly.
thing to have.
Yep.
Rick making a slight turn around the 𝗚𝗚𝗡 hideout over here. Being very careful to not to actually trip them and to notify them of his presence.
That would be a bit of a pain.
We have John using all 3 of his 𝗚𝗚𝗚's protection.
Yeah.
We have 2 people who now have used up the entirety of 𝗚𝗚𝗚's protection. Peter's got 1 use, and Rick in the front currently got all 3.
He's in good shape right now.
John looking to figure out how he's going to get to the next part of the area. It's a very long way down, and it can kill you if you are not careful.
Oh.
John taking some
Lindsay?
damage after a fall.
Lindsay is not far behind Rick. She's really pulling in, and that shield surf down that hill really did help just now.
Yeah, Lindsay's very close behind. She does have an ice whiz road to contend to, and because she has no 𝗚𝗚𝗚's protection, it's going to be a little bit tricky.
Just ran out of stamina, too.
That stamina thing could lead to trouble. But narrowly escapes it.
Good dodging.
And Rick is at our first, Rick is the first one to get to the flight range and already taking no time to shoot the targets. Rick does not need to worry about horizontal traversal now that he is here with the sailcloth. In the flight range, the sailcloth can be used as normal. He can land on the platform as many times as he wants. Just the last time he lands there after the 15th one is shot is where his time will end. But Rick is in the top spot. Looks like Lindsay is not too far behind. John and Peter pretty close, but it looks like Peter is starting to gain the upper hand. Rick with 3 shots already.
His arrows are falling a little bit short.
They are. He's going for a bit of a little curve, but it does get that 4th shot off.
Mm-hmm. This could be where it all comes together. It could take, you know, solid several minutes to just shoot down these 15 targets, and if ever there were a time for someone to catch up and perhaps take over the lead.
It is entirely possible. It is all a major test of dexterity and accuracy. Something that hopefully Lindsay will be able to take advantage of her dexterity as she accidentally awakens a frost talus, but she is actually at the flight range now. Second person there. She has not a lot of time to catch up with the 6 shots that Rick already has ahead of her.
Gonna have to be a real sharpshooter here. Oh, now 7.
Let's see if she can do it. She's already got 1 on it. Rick's got with the number 8. Rick doing some course corrections and missing twice on that one.
Lindsay now
getting a 2nd. Rick's now going back to the landing platform. It
Oop.
looks like John's going to actually hit the flight range first. Peter, I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he is very much in the back. He's going by some wolves.
Lindsay falling into the water. Wasn't quite able to manage.
Unfortunate. That is going to be a bit of a time penalty. Not by much, but it loses some precious time, which with 5 targets remaining, Rick, make that 4. Rick looks like he is going to run away with this one.
Oh, 2 quick and easy shots by Lindsay. She's now at 7.
John has also now began his shots with 1 on the board.
Lindsay at 8. She is pulling in.
Lindsay is catching up. And Peter has finally joined the rest of the group at the flight range. But it looks like it is going to be very difficult for him to catch up with Rick. 3 to victory. And Lindsay trailing by 3. All right. Peter's now on the board with shots. Rick's waiting
John
to
pulling in his
stamina,
first 4
and
shots
back up.
pretty quickly. Lindsay's now at 10, 11. Only 1 point between Lindsay and Rick.
Real close.
And it's tied.
And it is a tie game.
Wow.
It is really going to be a matter of who can land faster. Lindsay and Rick now tied with 13. Rick missing both of his shots. Lindsay going back to regain stamina. This could be the last one. If she aims right, she could take this whole thing. Rick only needs one more.
Very tight.
Looks like Peter fell and voided out. So did John.
Lindsay now also at 14.
Oh, and Rick with that 1 hit. All he needs to do is land. He does.
And it's game.
Rick takes the win. Lindsay going to come in behind at 2nd place.
Very tight game right at the end. Lindsay really managed to close that gap. Not quite fast enough, but...
An incredible turnaround. Rick of Imperium Ludum, takes the 1st place. Lindsay coming in 2nd. John and Peter, only 2 targets actually differ them. Oh, and Peter loses his grip and falls into the rocks and voids out. That is an unfortunate time loss.
To some extent, the falling in the water could be a time save if the goal were to get back to the platform. I think in Peter's case, he's really just aiming to get as many of these targets as he can as quickly as possible.
Not entirely sure if that's going to help. John is going to drop into the water, but he only needs 1 more. Oh, he doesn't do it. He lands in...
The ferry is saved.
And the ferry gets saved. He's the only one to use a ferry.
I'm so glad we got to see a ferry save in the games.
I agree, but John gets his 15.
There it is.
John, the second place last year in the triathlon in Hyrule, takes the bronze with a 12:19. Peter with only 4 more to go. Gonna drop down. Gonna get those two right on the middle spire.
Where are other two? Are they close together? Nope, doesn't look like it.
Got one on the side over here.
He
Nails
got those
that.
two pretty quickly.
And now it's a real matter of looking to see where exactly that last one is, and he finds it is
There it
right on
is.
the opposite side, close to the landing platform. And with that, all he has to do is land onto the platform.
And that's time.
Peter taking the 4th place with a 13:28.
Wow. You know, between Rick and Lindsay, it was really close. That is a, 15-second difference. And there were more than 15 seconds apart for a large portion of that race. Lindsay really managed to close that gap right in the target range.
Lindsay definitely closed that gap, but it was not enough to take the win from Rick. Rick doing an incredible job at the target range and getting a lot of momentum right from the beginning, being the first one to actually get to Heber Peak, and his shield surfing technique bringing him all the way down as fast as possible.
Meanwhile, John and Peter, both strong contenders. I think Peter may have had a little bit of difficulty with managing the stamina at some points and pulling out the shield in kind of inopportune moments early on. But he did manage to get to the end and pull it all through without too much difficulty. Sidon is hot.
I didn't catch where he actually got specifically hung up on.
It was mostly climbing from what I saw. I think he may have wandered a little bit not in the direct path, which will hurt you.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
But, you know, the screen in this particular region of Breath of the Wild during a snowstorm is very gray.
Like, yeah. I was running through it myself earlier to like understand the route, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
I mean, this was not an easy challenge for the competitors, for sure.
Not.
And they all did great. Better than I would have. Great job.
At the end of that round, Tierra de los Hermanos Hook currently still in the lead with 3 gold, followed by Imperium Ludum with 1 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze.
And then our Daisy Baby Bitch territory's got no gold, but it does have 1 silver and 2 bronze, and Youbetchastan leading up in 4th with no gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze.
Rick is currently leading the charge with both a gold and a silver under his belt. Peter, Dave, and Jeff of Tierra de los Hermanos Hook coming in second with 3 gold. Lindsay with 1 silver and 2 gold. And then Sarah and John tied with 1 silver and 1 bronze apiece.
It's anybody's game, or games at this point. So, thank you for watching. Please come back for tomorrow's event, Nordic Combined. And thank you so much for watching. Be sure to congratulate our fearless competitors for making it through this horrible cold region, the Heber region, in Zelda Breath of the Wild. Again, I'm NintendoFanGirl. Feel free to look me up at NintendoFanGirl. I'm happy to talk about Breath of the Wild with anyone. And Alex?
And my name is Alex Rosenberg. I am Luca_Starks on most places on the internet. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time in the games.
Bye!